Hello everyone, this is Kuhelika Roy Choudhary and you're watching me on Season 3 of T3 podcast series Bolder Voices, Better Insights. Today we have with us a very special guest who has been a veteran not only in the tourism arena for more than 20 years, but has been at the forefront in positioning Fiji as a preferred destination amongst Indian travelers. Yes, you're right. He is none other than Mr. Brent Hill, CEO of Tourism Fiji, and he's with us here to share some deep insights on how Fiji is gearing up for 2025. Welcome, Brent.
Thank you. I appreciate it, Kuhelika. Thank you.
Lovely having you today for this conversation. Brent, the first question that our audience wants to put forward to you is, how is Fiji gearing up in a tourism perspective, and how do you see 2024 turning up for tourism? How has been the figures, how has been the response, and how are your projections for 2025?
Yeah, thank you. It's a great question because we've been so successful over the last few years since COVID. We came out of COVID really strongly, and this year we've had the highest number of tourists come to Fiji in our history. And what that means for our country, where tourism is 40% of our GDP, so it's really important. It's a really significant thing that tourists are continuing to choose to come to Fiji, and the momentum is really strong into 2025. So what that means is we've now got new products starting to happen. We've got new hotel builds, investment coming in. So it's a really exciting time for tourism in Fiji.
As you talk about a great momentum that happened in 2024, can you please tell us what specific markets are your revenue generating markets from your overall perspective? Yeah. And what is India's share of the overall perspective?
Yeah, sure. So the main markets are what we, call the traditional markets. They've been coming to Fiji for a long time. So Australia, New Zealand, USA, and then more recently we've seen China come. So India is a really emerging market as a percentage. It continues to grow, but one of the things that we recognise is that's why we're here at the moment. We want to invest more, market more into India. We're working on flight connectivity into Fiji because we believe that Indian tourists are going to love Fiji. So we're really excited to continue to promote Fiji as a destination and get more Indians to come down and check it out.
Beautifully answered. But Brent, in a nutshell, how important is India as a source market for you, and how are you looking at positioning Fiji as a destination in India going ahead?
Sure. It's got one of the highest potentials because I think the amount of Indian tourists traveling to Australia, traveling to New Zealand, you're coming into our part of the world. So from that perspective, I think that's really important. And then I think when you look at what makes Fiji just so special, of course the Fijian people is the standout thing. It's an incredible place to come where you'll feel so welcome. Hospitality is at the core of being Fijian. And of course the culture of Fiji has this wonderful multicultural element because there are so many people in Fiji who've got Indian heritage.
Yes.
So something like 40 to 45% of the country can trace their lineage back to India. So language, food, dress, temples, it's all there. So for an Indian tourist, you have this absolute paradise and a real contrast in terms of, beautiful nature, beautiful, hillside, as well as the ocean. But then you see things that you remember from home and of home, the creature comforts of great food, language, those kinds of things.
So Brent, as you talk about food, culture, heritage, so I really want to know, and I'm sure the audience also wants to know, that which market segments has been really on rise for Fiji in 2024, and which market segments that you really want to penetrate going forward in 2025?
Sure. So Fiji for a long time has been a family destination. They love children. So I have a 1-year-old, and the expression that we say is his feet have never touched the ground because he just gets looked after. It's a very unique culture that in Fiji they're just so happy and also so careful about their guests. So from that perspective, that's really exciting. And then I just think there's so much on offer in Fiji. It is a genuinely world-class tourist destination. So you have, beautiful accommodation, you have amazing activities to do. We know that Indian guests, when they come, they want to do a lot of things. So, they want to travel and go and do like the river experience and the waterfall. Then they want to go and do a village tour. And the Fijian culture is very alive. So I know sometimes, people see these things where, they might be wearing the traditional grass skirt, and you sort of think, like, is that still happening? Is that like just a show? But, it's very real, and it's very important to Fijian people that culture is preserved. So you will definitely see that from the minute you get into Fiji.
Sounds lovely. And I'm sure Fiji has many things for Indian travelers in its bucket for sure. So, but how are you looking forward to educating the travel agents, the trade fraternity of India?
Yeah.
What are your plans going forward?
Yeah, so the big thing for the trade, obviously, we have the Matai program. Matai in Fijian means expert. So you can become an expert. There's a lot of great videos on there. It's a really easy platform to learn more about Fiji. So for example, for agents, the biggest thing is, okay, when you're talking to your guests, they're going to say, how hard is it to get to Fiji? What do I have to do? It's got to be one of the most simple destinations. Like very little traffic. You land into Nandi Airport. A lot of the hotels are around Nandi. So within 20 minutes of the airport, you're in your 5-star resort. You can then get on a boat and travel out 45 minutes to beach clubs, island resorts, etc. It's very condensed, and you're not fighting your way through traffic like in Mumbai or anything like this. So
Of course.
it's the antithesis of the experience here, because it's so chill. We actually have an expression called Fiji time, where everything just slows down. So I think for agents, it's an easy destination. It's visa free for Indian travelers. You get through the airport very quickly. You can be taken care of really well. And we just guarantee that people are going to come back having had a great time. The weather's really good, pretty much year round. And the accommodation is amazing. So whether or not it's a single group, like a couple or a family or a small mice group, or even multi-generational, we're seeing a lot of that, grandparents, parents, children.
And India
come and
is
hire a villa.
about the multi-generational market. Yeah.
Of course. So we have this a lot. We see a lot of Indian tourists who choose to do that.
Yeah.
So they'll get a villa, they all stay. It's very easy, and Fiji is geared for tourism. So it's not like you're a part of something where all these other things are going on, like a modern city like Mumbai. Fiji is there for tourism, so they're going to look after you.
Sounds so promising. But Brent, there are so many things to do in Fiji for Indian travelers, but how are you looking at promoting your visibility in the India market, both, for the consumers, for the agents? What are your plans? What are your marketing strategies for 2025?
Yeah, so obviously, first of all, being here at OTM. Second, we want as many people as possible to get onto the Matai program. Thirdly, we've obviously got a team here through Global Destinations, which is a great way of getting the message across. And then, we're working on the connectivity with flights and making that easy. So a lot of people are choosing to come down to Australia or New Zealand and then add Fiji, or the other way around. They're coming to Fiji and adding on Australia and New Zealand. And things like marketing, doing co-op campaigns, we want to be in market at the right time. So, part of me being here at this time of year, it's my first visit across as the CEO, and it's really exciting. It's such a great emerging market. So we want to put more money into India and really promote it, because we believe that once people find out more about Fiji, they're really going to want to come.
Lovely. So, Brent, best wishes to you for your forthcoming journey in 2025. Any other message that you want to give to our T3 viewers going forward?
Yeah, I think, look, the main thing I would sort of say is, continue to work with our team. At the moment, we know the number one way of getting there is through Singapore, but there is actually quite a lot of ways to get to Fiji. We're about 3.5 hours off Sydney. So if you're trying to work out where Fiji is, it's in the Pacific, just out from Sydney. It's 2.5 hours from Auckland. So it's in a beautiful spot. Year round it's amazing, but obviously if you come from March to November, the weather is just perfect. So in that sense, it's a place that's very easy to come to and easy to love. And of course, we look forward to welcoming as many people as possible to come through to Fiji.
Beautifully answered. With this brings me to the end of this conversation. Thank you, Brent, for sharing such interesting insights about Fiji to our T3 viewers. So I think with that, we wrap up this session today. And thank you so much, T3 viewers, for joining us for this interaction. And we really hope that we bring another insightful conversation with our next episode. Till then, stay tuned.